my passion for music was I would listen as a kid. I'd listen to these songs and they made me feel something. It took me somewhere, and I was always like, that's magic to me. And to be part of putting music together to make somebody else feel something was magic.
A painter has to paint, right? A guitar player has to play guitar, or a music songwriter has to write songs and write lyrics, ideas. You know, you got opinions, you got thoughts, you got noises walking down the street inspire me to, you know, turn it into a guitar riff, things like that. So there's just really no choice in it. If I wasn't in a band, I'd still be doing it at home, and if I'm doing it at home, why not be in a band and do it and share it with other people?
What? I have fun. You know, that's what this is. It's a fun hobby, expensive hobby sometimes, but you know, try to have fun with it.
You know, the passion's always been there. I grew up in a musical family. My dad was a musician. He originally started on drums, but went to bass and was more known around as a bass player. He kind of showed me the basics when I first started playing drums, and I just kind of went from there and picked up the rest. And you know, so music's definitely been in the family, and just that drive to do it. And you know, it's just one of them things where it's like opening your eyes every day and breathing air. It's just, you have to do it.
The reason I started playing, I think, was when I heard Master of Puppets the first time. So James Hetfield, definitely, the old metallic old school stuff, was a huge influence on me starting, and even style. Pantera then came around, Dimebag, big influence as far as playing. But then when I think about music, it isn't just playing guitar, it's writing style, it's just the genre, melodic stuff, heavy stuff, combining it all. I think that's what we try to do, I always try to do in writing.
I came from a very musical family as well. I'm the youngest of 4 sons, and all my brothers were into music, so I got the hand-me-down records. I still have them all. When they moved out, I kept their vinyl. And their styles, even for my parents, I mean, there was a lot of Three Dog Night, and but my brothers, one was into like Sabbath, one was into the Cars and Styx, and REO Speedwagon, all the stuff from the 70s and 80s. That all influenced me. I went my own way. I was more into metal, but I love Elton John. I love Simon and Garfunkel, and all those great songs.
Mom bought a garage sale guitar for my dad. And, I sat in the corner for years. I picked it up fairly young and just started plucking around on it. My dad told me that I wasn't playing guitar, I was playing bass. Les Claypool is such a fun person to watch. And, you know, you can tell he has fun playing and doing what he does.
Started off, you know, playing on the little building blocks, and then eventually, you know, the little kid sets my parents would get me, but I was constantly breaking them because I was playing too hard apparently. And finally they broke down, got me a real set of drums. They were some amber Ludwig Vista lights, you know, similar to the John Bonham, and the song remains the same.
Well, we have to start before this band. We go back to the beginning.
Probably formed 2000 and would have been 9, maybe, somewhere in that area, maybe 08. Original lineup's a little different than this one. Jared and I are the original members. Jerry and Eli came later.
The guitar player that I was playing with at that time, Neil went to him and asked, you know, would you care if Jared tried out to play bass with us? And yeah, he laughed it off and was like, you know, whatever. Long story short, I grabbed my that night, went down and kicked their door open, and yeah, I've been playing bass with Neil for 17 years now.
Came out of an old band, started a new band, new attitude, new approach to what we wanted to do, and grabbed a few musicians, started writing from there. We still actually play some of them songs from the early days.
Been through several different band members, and this is our second band. It was Think Tank originally.
So I've known Neil and Jared for years. One of the old bands I was in called Nailbinder, we used to play shows with their old band, which was called Think Tank. We used to play with them all the time. Towards the end of my band kind of coming to a close, they had already started this Blessed Hatred. I remember hearing a lot of, a lot of build up, and they were getting ready to play the big Woodstock festival that used to happen in Bellefontaine every year.
Realized that they were looking for a vocalist, and I was give it a shot, we'll see what happens. Came out a couple times, and so they sent me a demo of 3 songs with no vocals on it and said have fun, right? So that was really cool for me to come in and not have to learn somebody else's lyrics or melodies or whatever. I had a clean slate.
Ran into Neil at the mall one day out of the blue, and we were kind of chatting like, hey man, you still jamming? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of looking for something. And he's like, oh, give me your number, and maybe we'll do something. I'm thinking, yeah, sure. And sure enough, he gives me a call a few days later. I didn't know, but they were unfortunately losing a drummer, looking for someone. So I was like, yeah, I will, would love to try out. He got me the CD, sat and learned the 3 tracks, came in, tried out, and then bam, been here ever since. I think it's been around 7 years or so at this point.
And they were all like, yeah, we want you to be part of the band. But I haven't shown you anything yet. I haven't done anything yet, but they heard something in what I was doing, and then I think it's worked out.
I think the words themselves, this Blessed Hatred means, we all have hate. It's good to have hate. You hate what's evil. You hate what's, someone that hurts a kid. You don't have anything but hate for that. So, sometimes it's blessed to be full of hate. Not full of hate, but have hate.
The way that I write is more of a, we're a heavy band, but most of the message that I try to convey is, the world is a crazy place. There's a lot of madness that goes along with living on this planet, and where I'm coming from is more of a reflection, a self improvement kind of. Trying to think of a good way to articulate this, kind of evolving yourself and bettering yourself and rising above the madness into a positive place.
You don't realize it until you're not doing it, like how much you miss just being in a room with guys, like writing music and playing music, and you just kind of, it's one of them things you kind of take for granted until you're not doing it.
Some guitar players hardly ever write anything. They play other people's music, cover tunes, and that's great. I've never went that route. I always thought writing was more important because then you explore yourself. It brings out whatever's inside of you versus playing what somebody else has already written. I'm not judging at all because it's all fun to play. But I've just always wanted to write and play. So, and record really.
I kind of prefer the sitting as a band and kind of writing the song and let it blossom as it's growing instead of, kind of here's a couple guys writing it and then I have to study and put my own thing, which I do have to do that in other things, but I definitely prefer this style of writing as well.
Eli's a lot of fun to play with. He's got a very creative, style that I've played with quite a few drummers, and they're all different. I'm sure all bass players are different too, but it's sometimes it's a little tough to lock things down because he has such a unique style that's just, I've never played with someone like him, so it's been a challenge to I guess improve myself to play along with him.
Being somewhat experimental, not being locked down into one style.
I'm always trying to improve. You you never stop learning.
I try to, even on the heavy stuff, I try to articulate and everything so that it's not just a gook of rah, 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 you know. That's my goal anyway, is to try to be very clear, and it's more of a growl than a scream, but those are feelings, right? There's no way to convey that emotion without letting yourself go and just falling into it.
Brand new album. We're in the final production phase of it, which is duplication and whatnot.
We start kind of throwing little ideas out at each other, and you know, let's try this, let's do that. You know, as we speak, we're in the process of, you know, 2 brand new songs just sprouted up that are right there on the verge of being done.
Yeah. This we've done all in house. We've got a couple isolated rooms where we practice at. So we multi-track everything, you know, mic up as many drum mics as we want in the room and whatever, put all that down and then go back and dub everything else back over, from guitars times 2 or 3, bass, lead, vocals and all that, and then I take it home and mix it down and master it in some computer software. So we do all that ourselves, and then we're designing the cover and all the artwork and stuff, so we've kind of went back and forth on all that, and we've got a final product, which I've done all that in Photoshop, and then we'll end up shipping that off. So it's going to be 100% done by the 4 members of the band.
I don't save anything up, I just let it all go. And I've always thought of myself as a channeler. You know, I'm channeling some emotion or some thought and pushing it out. And usually sleep like a baby when I get home after a show because I'm completely spent. Yeah, it's all washed away.
That's the big thing. It's kind of a party. It's not a crazy party, but it's a party, and we just want to have fun. We goof around on stage. We're not too serious. You know, somebody might fall down or knock somebody else over, things like that. It's just to have a good time and have something to talk about Monday at work.
Now we're at our greatest and most supreme level of banditude. That is This Blessed Hatred.
And yeah, we're here now with this lineup for 4 to 5 years, somewhere in that area, and stronger than ever.
Do you have a troll by your camera?
I don't even like any of them guys.
I'm Italian, so I do a lot of this anyway.
Hey!
Jared has a lot of gas. You know, there's that. Yeah, right? No?
I'm not looking at you, Jared. Or your cheeks.
No, I appreciate they put their ass out, and you know, I always have to write the guitar parts because Neil, his arthritis sucks. And
So, introduce yourself. Tell me what.
I am Aries. I like long walks on the beach, 80s love rock.
We done?